So, just want to quickly tell myself some notes, and my notes coming to me today is projection. As I drive in my car and I see things, what I observe, I feel like it's filtering back to me. So, I'm not looking at it. Whatever living experience is having is projecting itself back to me, and I feel like a black hole. So like if I'm driving at speed or walking at speed and I see something at a certain point, if I'm going through the portals of the motorway and I see a tree and it's projecting itself to me, it gets to the point where they call the event horizon, where my speed going in one direction makes that thing disappear. There's no return for that tree unless I turn around. There's no way. So like your eye, in the middle of your eye is a black hole, and you are sucking in all the information into the black hole, into the void. Your eye is the black hole. Your eye is the womb. You're going into the womb, and like the tree at a far distance away from me is projecting itself into my eyes with strings of light, giving it all the different colours, but that's received. I'm receiving it. Even in a big view of hills and clouds and traffic and cars and people, like it's going back into the void. It's almost like it's created for me to see, for it to disappear. Like because without mirrors, there's no one to blame without mirrors. As soon as you put mirrors on a car and your eyes can look behind you, you can start blaming people for, someone driving in the back of you, or, like rather than trusting people to just look forward. Now you're teaching people to look behind. And this is probably one of the biggest mistakes humans have done, is place a mirror there, because you're instantly putting blame on someone else. Because you can't look forward and have projection coming towards you, and look behind you and have projection coming from behind. That's where the ego was created. The ego was created because it's a projection of a mirror, of yourself. Right? So as soon as the mirror was created to be able to see this invisible, unnatural, well, it can be natural, but this invisible entity, the shadow now has a face. The shadow is always hanging around you, but now it's got a face, right? Because if I'm going in one direction, I wouldn't need to see it coming from behind me in another direction, right? I should just be looking forward, because my body is designed to look forward wherever my head is. I can turn around, use the whole of my organs and finely tune them and turn around and have a look, but we've laid claim now to a mirror which is now projecting from behind us, when really we should be looking forward, right? Because remember, right, so like the sun hits the trees, then the trees bounce off the colours. Now the sun, as it goes over the trees, the atoms go from the tree up to the sun. Yeah, so they're filtering back. It's no different from you downloading. You got your phone there and you're downloading all your photographs. All your photographs are downloading onto your phone. So it picks them up and downloads. So you see what I mean? It's coming down to you. You're downloading all the time. Whenever you're looking, right? Like I said, I'm driving down the motorway and I'm looking in front of me. I can see all the cars, the vans, signs. The projection of them are coming in and filtering into my black hole. And like I said, if you go to a certain speed, you could walk, run, cycle, you could drive. At a certain point, the event horizon is when you go past it. Then it disappears. You have to turn your head to reappear it, but it disappears. So it teaches you that you're sucking in the information. It's projecting onto you. Right? How does that help you in your life? if you look at it, if people are projecting themselves to you, you then realise you don't need to project. You just is, because you are the black hole. You're sucking in the information. You're downloading. Things are coming to you. Right? When you upload, that's different, because then you go into the third eye and you upload information to where you want to be. So, like, for example, like I said before, detachment is food. Detachment is socializing. Detachment is music. Detachment is sports. Detachment from responsibility. That's what it's all about when you detach yourself, right? And like when you get to a certain stage in your life, and you can upload, and your upload could be information that you can create inside of you, but that's all that is years upon years of downloading to find a fitting place where you want to upload. Because you don't want to upload, you don't want to open a portal up and someone comes through that you don't want to have and deal with. You don't want to open up a portal that the emotion comes through. You want to upload once you've downloaded enough information, and you're endless information. You are endless. Right? Your body reproduces you every day. Reproduces, and any trauma in your cells, it will reproduce that same trauma. Do you see? So, like, even the cells at a cellular level, the old cells project themselves onto the new cell. So they're sending in the codes to the new cell. To this new cell, if it's got an eye, it opens up its eye, and then it sees all the torment around it, and it goes, well, I'll just be like that then. I'll follow the same path. No different from going into a shop with your parents and they go down the same aisle all the time. And then when you grow up, you end up doing the same thing. Like, the parents who used to have Smash. They didn't make potatoes, they used to go and have Smash. And then you end up having Smash. Angels of Light. You start whipping that up. Like, when that program serves you, you then have to get rid of that once you've gone through that path, you then upgrade. Because remember, it's all about upgrading, downloading and uploading. So you're taking all the information in. But if you want to upgrade, you have to upgrade in a responsible manner, and you have to go through experiences, open up portals, and you have to take all the information in. You have to teach yourself about breath work. You have to, rather than try to please everyone else, you need to work on who you are. How many people have turned around and asked me for programs for exercise? How many people have asked me for diets? They can't sustain them, because it's a monetary thing, or they would do it for a short while and then they collapse. That's living on the wave. That's living on the wave. The up and down wave. The middle way is to be born, study your environment when you're a child. The projection of around you is being pushed into you. You're sucking it up, and you're being responsible, and you're acting in a way that everyone else is reacting. So you're in your environment, and you're working properly in your environment. And when you feel safe and stuff like that, you can start expressing your love. And once your love starts to come out, then you start to raise and have a voice. And then once your voice starts to come out, because you feel loved, you feel solid, you feel safe, and then your voice starts to come out, and then you start to uniquely start to have your own experience inside your own head. And once you get the information about the environment and the place and where you are, you then go back to the heart, because you don't want to go and buy something which is going to cost so much money, which you know that you have to go to work that you don't want to go and do, and you're not doing your talk. You're not walking your talk. You're just doing the talk. You're not doing that walk. You can't be like that. You need to be in a situation where you can walk the walk. Like, I would never say to people, if I'm not prepared to do something myself. I wouldn't do that. Like, I take information in, and I work it through and see what I've seen even in that day, what I've seen. But it has to be fair. And normally, to come up with a fair, reasonable choice is looking at emotions. How's it going to affect him? What's this person projecting at me? Someone dies or someone's ill. You ask them how do they feel? How do they really feel? Then what you're doing is you get rid of this bullshit that we've never been able to deal with about death. So that you get rid of this blockage that people have, and they can actually really express how they actually really do feel. And because they can express that, their body then changes, because now the cells can release. Now the cells can then go, right, okay, I'm glad I've got that out. I'm glad I've got that out of my system. And then perhaps they can then start to master their matter again. Because they could have got to a certain stage where their matter was perfect. They worked on their matter and they mastered it. And their spirit might have been mastered, but they never went the middle way. So they've had to have a really bad emotional experience to go back to the middle way, to go back to matter, to go back to spirit, to go back to emotional, which is the soul. You have a soul burden, so like when you have a soul in this planet, right, which is the mother inside of you, she opens up portals left, right and center, especially if you imagine the portals created. But when the portals are created and someone steps through and they emotionally drive you to a certain position in life or certain environment in life, it's for you to pick up your sword, your father, the father information coming to you to get you out of that place. And the portals won't stop opening up, because that portal will then fill the father, and that's holy matrimony. The father and the mother are becoming one, and it's almost like having someone like a mother and father in your life. The mother and father's there. They're always there. Why would you not clearly see that? You just have people nurturing you and how they repeat themselves. But remember, the other people are projecting themselves. Someone can project themselves in a room to me, right? And they could try to influence me to think a different way. But if I step out the room and I see the sun everywhere and showing me everything, it's teaching me that actually that one person can manipulate you in one area. But the Father comes out and he shows me the whole lot. That one person can't show me what the Father shows me. That one person can't do that. That one person can only word me. But I'll tell you what that one person could do if they wanted to show me. They could show me, look at my garden, look how many apples I've grown, look how many this I've done. So they've worked with the mother and the father. Now I'm listening. Now I'm interested. Not that you have to manipulate me, but I see, look, what a great human being. This person's able to harness the energy of the mother and father and create all this. This person spent years studying his atoms, himself or herself, and they've created this thing inside, and it's an interchange or interchangeable relationship between the seasons, the mother and the father. Then you'd say, what a beautiful soul. Do you see, there's something in this world, and I believe it's the mirror. I believe it's the mirror which has been able to manipulate the situations because we've now chose to blame. We chose to blame. And once we blame, we have a problem. A mirror is your Facebook. A mirror is a mirror in your car. A mirror is someone you see in the mirror. You. Someone else to blame. It wasn't me. It was you. And the thing is, you give someone a mobile phone, people can use it for good or bad. Yeah? And it's the mirror of that person who's using it in a bad way. But using it in the right way is the right person. Is the being. Is the being. Because remember, that's projecting to you. It resonates with you. When you drive your car and you see the trees and the bushes and changing colours in different seasons, that's projecting itself to you into the black hole. That's why Everything's been seen. Everything's been recorded. It's been recorded. You know, the only thing that can wipe your memory is magnets, electrical, and bad eating and bad practicing. Because if your food is, you know, if your body is full of matter and stuff, you're going to be affected by metals. You know, you're going to have the wrong drive in yourself. You know, and if you're not, well, urine therapy. I mean, urine therapy is great because what happens is water is emotional, right? So water has memory. So if you have water from like Fiji or Iceland, you're gonna get pure water first of all, right? And there'll be memories of people who were in poor in that way. So you will start thinking differently because you're drinking some different water. Right? You'll be thinking hopefully more open about things. And then if you suddenly had a really good day and you haven't recorded what you've been thinking about and stuff, and you rely on yourself tomorrow to write it down, well, as soon as you're pissed, you've just lost all your memories. As soon as you weed. That's why urine therapy is great, and that's why when you drink your wee, sounds weird, doesn't it, right, for some people, but when you drink your wee, that is a golden shower. That is you remembering what you've remembered. Now you remember it because water has emotion. You piss your memories away. Why do you think they say that? You piss it away. So, and that's why, you know, like if you have the right wee, it will crystallize itself and turn to gold eventually. Wonder why that would be? Well, put it this way: if you start to learn everything correctly, or I don't say correctly, what I'd say is if you could actually just deprogram yourself from certain things, even though we're having an experience. But the reason why people are playing their roles is to push us into this position, right? So, and if you kept on doing your urine therapy, or you had a recording, your wee will then start to calcify. Every time you have a wee, then you crystallize, and you're starting to crystallize, and then and if you start doing more breath work and stuff, well, first of all, you're radiating. You will become more attractive. Yeah, you will. But the body will detox. You know, first of all, you probably come across quite smelly, but the body's detoxing. It's getting rid of certain things inside of it, right? So you need to be like a tree. You know, like if I look at a tree right now, coming into autumn, I'm starting to see golden leaves, red and gold, red and gold, red and gold, right? So in spring, red, summer, green, then you come to winter, gold. Why? Because it goes to gold. You go to gold. That's why your heart is green, and you've got to work it into gold. But you won't work it into gold if you stay in your head or stay in your lower chakras, looking off food. But that's you know, it's fine. It's fine. But I'd rather walk into a life and see that everything's projected to me. So like if people turn up to my house, they've just gone through a portal, and I knew they were going to come through, and they're going to come see me. I didn't do the journey with them. You know, that you'd be like, well, what portal did you come through? You just turned up. I never experienced the journey. They just turned up. It's a portal. They're all portals, physical portals. You know, I didn't see them turn up. They just turned up at the bottom of my road. Oh, I'm here now. Oh, and they always ring you. They ring. You know, with a ding-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, like a bow. I bowed you. Anyway, all I'm trying to do is remember to start talking about mirrors, portals, and how things project themselves to you into the black hole, and then it goes through the event horizon, and then suddenly, if you just look forward, it just disappears. And there's no way escaping it. There's no way. I can't go 70 miles per hour on the motorway, right, and keep my eyes forward, and when a tree disappears from my event horizon, I can't swerve left to have a look at it. Yeah, you could say in the mirror, but I'm seeing the wrong side of it now. I'm seeing the other side of it. Again, mirrors are something that we created to blame. It's to blame. You're blaming other people now. You've created another dimension. Because in the mirror, it's non-existent. You walk in that mirror. Go on, you walk along in it. That's just someone to blame. I mean, they have their uses, yeah. But if I turned around and said to you, right, now, let's get rid of mirrors in the car, and everyone has to be a little bit more thoughtful when they're looking forward. Just have to be more thoughtful. You know? So, like, no one's going to overtake. No one's going to undertake. Everyone just plays it a little bit more safer. How's that feel for you? Maybe it's a new form of transport. A better way of transport. How about using the internet to transport? So you just transport yourself like through a portal, you know, like a Wi-Fi portal. Anyway, it was just something that I wanted to throw together just quickly and just have a little chat about. But just remember, everything projects to you. It all projects to you. The whole thing does. The whole show. And it goes into that little black hole in your eye. You know, so then you know it goes down to one atom. You know it does, as soon as it goes down to that. Because it goes into your eyes, and then you can feel the emotion build up inside, and at some point then joins together. And then when it joins together with that emotion and that feeling, and then it goes into the eyes, when it joins in that one motion, that's where you came from. That's where you came out. You came out then. Anyway, love you. Love, live, empathy.